Hello and welcome to the Hummingbird series. And I'm super excited to bring to you guys a fellow beastie lover. Her name is Kirsten Koel, and she's a fellow Martha Beck coach who has a very special coaching program that is based around cheetahs, which I am super excited to hear about. So Kirsten, can you say hello?
Hello, everybody. I'm so excited to be here, and thank you, Sarah, for having me. I'm so excited to talk beasties with you.
Yes. Well, and I want to get into that. So, Kirsten, can you tell us a little bit about your background? Because I have a feeling some other people who are watching are going to maybe resonate with this or hear part of themselves in your story.
Yeah, so it really mirrors your own, as you know. I was pretty deep into the veterinary science field, and I had plans to go to vet school, and I was really, really deep along that path, running my own research projects and just constantly in the hospital, working, volunteering, just trying to help the critters any way I could. And part of that was so deeply fulfilling to me. I loved being able to help animals and connect with them directly and just learn, all of the information that you're constantly exposed to is so fascinating and fun. And yet there were parts of me that were so deeply unsatisfied. And I knew that that was not exactly the right path for me. I just wanted to help in a way that felt more me, more authentically me. I wanted to explore more about personal development, and I kind of sensed that these animals had lessons or messages or some type of medicine for me that I was kind of skimming over and not really listening and paying attention to.
Was there a moment when you kind of knew, like, this whole veterinary, this viewpoint isn't all there is? I mean, was there a moment that you remember where you're like, oof, can't do it?
Yeah, I feel like there were several moments, and I was volunteering in the exotic field, and so I was exposed to a lot of these really amazing, unique, powerful animals, and whenever I got to experience them in person, it just felt like that energy, that vibe kind of smacks you in the face. It's kind of a wake-up call to pay attention. So it was a culmination of many of those moments, I feel, where you're just around these big, amazing, powerful creatures that obviously there's something more going on there. And you might not know what it is yet, but you can feel it.
And if you guys go to Kirsten's website, which we're going to share, I mean, she has these incredible photos of her like snuggling up with cheetahs. Now, most of us, although we love the beasties, will probably never cuddle with a cheetah, but she's really done some actually really close work with animals. So pretty amazing.
So fun. Yeah, thank you. And so that's where I was. I was basically trying to force myself to fit into this box to be the, best medical veterinary student that you possibly can. And I just felt like it wasn't quite right for me. So I decided to go on a little quest. I really was feeling the call of this certain wildlife sanctuary in Namibia. And so I had been paying attention to this place, looking at it, longing to go there for about 9 years. And I just decided, I'm at this transition point. I need this. I feel the call. And so I booked a ticket, and it became kind of this hero's journey that was the basis for everything and led to those experiences that you were talking about, like getting to snuggle the cheetahs and playing with warthogs and
Wow. So 9 years. So listen, whoever's listening to this, pay attention to these things, like these weird yearnings you have to go to Namibia, which don't make a lot of logical sense.
No.
If you're a student or, whatever you're thinking, why would I, what's going to happen to me when I go there? But when you went there, something incredible happened.
Yeah, that's so important. And just the fact that it can start off as this small little nudge, just this kind of string that you follow along and you're not really sure where it's headed. I think at the beginning of a journey like this, we always feel like we should have this clear idea of exactly what we're going to get out of it. And that's never the case.
so true. We want to know, like, how's this going to end, or why am I doing it? Because then I'll be willing to pay the $1,800 or, spend my savings on a ticket to Namibia.
Right.
Because if you guarantee me, I'll figure it out when I get there. Great. But
Yeah.
no guarantee is given in these heroes' journeys.
Yeah. And I had no idea what was coming out of it. For me, it was kind of like a quest, a hero's journey. I didn't know what I was going to get out of it, but I just knew I had to go. And so I got there, and for the time that I was there, you're just interacting with so many characters, so many energies that these animals are bringing. There's this extremely protective kind of gentlemanly warthog, and these cute little snuggly meerkats, and these just playful, goofy, mischievous baboons. And, so you're just immersed in all of these characters, personalities, and the energy that I felt had the most messages for me was that came from the cheetah. And why that was because I was at a point in my life where I was really trying to reclaim my confidence, expand my bravery, rediscover my courage. And I was trying to approach it with that lion energy. You know what I mean? Like the aggressive, like, I'm not afraid, I can do anything, very much like bravado and puffed up. And that absolutely can have a place and can be so healing for people, but it was not working for me. It just was not working. It was like the more I tried to pretend that I wasn't afraid, the more it kind of backfired in my face. So the cheetah energy was just this still intense, still fierce, still, graceful beauty, but also this gentleness and this permission to be present and accept everything that was happening for you. So it was this beautiful combination of the intensity and the fierceness and the loving and the gentleness and the accepting. And when I started to pay attention to their energy and take it on and try to embody more of that, everything changed, because you're not pretending anymore. You're meeting yourself where you're at and working with yourself in a gentle way. And that combination, just all of a sudden you're able to do what you wanted to do and change and shift what you wanted to shift. It was beautiful. So.
That's so awesome. And I love the way you describe that, because ultimately when I'm working with people and their spirit animals, the ideal is that you begin to sort of embody that energy, that power that the spirit animal has, and they show up in so many different ways. They can be fierce and stern, or they can be really funny and playful, or they can be things. But I love how you weren't even you were just doing this in the natural world through perceiving the beast. And I think if anybody who's watching has a special animal they love, like, to be able to go witness them in person is a really special thing, because and then to notice, like, what do you, or even watching a DVD can be like a documentary about wild animals. I can often perceive a lot about the way they're being.
Absolutely, yeah. Interacting with them in person, finding out about what's going on with them in real time, the conservation issues that are affecting them right now, and then if you feel called, if it feels good, as you say, what to do about that. I think that's a lot of what's going on in the planet right now. That's what's needed, is for us to get this immense gift from these animals and then figure out a way to return that medicine to them.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Tell me, like, I know you have a few stories about cheetahs, and I know, like, that's how I learn and I remember things. So can you share something of, something you witnessed or were part of?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think the story that I want to share is about these 5 teenage cheetahs that I had a really special bond with. I mean, I was amazed by the energy of the cheetahs in general, but there were these 5 young teenagers that were just so special, and I bonded so deeply with. I spent as much time with them as I possibly could. I just couldn't get enough. even, spending nights with them, and you go into their little enclosure and fold out your sleeping bag, and then they just pile on top of you, and they're just purring and reverberating your body. And I just remember thinking, like, I can't go to sleep because I don't want to miss a single second of this. I need all of it.
Yeah.
But the most powerful lesson that they had for me came a day where I was super tired, and we had a lunch break. And so, we're all eating our lunch, and then you have some free time to go interact with whatever critter is calling to you that day, give them some extra love and TLC. And so, of course, I went to go interact with these 5 teenage cheetahs, and I went out to their enclosure, which was massive, and I could not find them. I spent an hour wandering around, looking for them, calling to them, and I just could not find them in this giant enclosure. And I was just like, I only have 15 minutes before I'm supposed to be back at my chores, feeding these animals and cleaning the enclosures and all that. And I felt just like I had missed, this gift that they're bringing to me that I was so hungry for. And so I thought to myself, okay, you've been trying to track them down, use your logical, linear thinking mind to go from all the places where you think that they might be. What happens if you just kind of soften and use this gentle energy that they've been trying to teach you and just see what happens? And so this was just kind of this experiment in dropping the agenda and seeing if I could maybe find them just, in this very casual, gentle way, instead of this, they're going to be here or here or here or here. And it was amazing. So I felt this kind of tug. And the second I tried to maybe feel more of it, more than just this gentle nudge, I would lose it. And so I just tried to take a step while feeling this tug and just pay attention to just the 2 steps that little nudge was leading me on towards. And it was crazy. I ended up basically going in a straight line directly to the cheetahs where they were, in a space that I had no idea that they were going to be. And, I had to go around these little obstacles. So it was kind of like this, but it was practically a straight line directly to them. And I remember finding them and being blown away, just absolutely amazed that this had happened, and it felt unreal. And then every day after that, as I went into their enclosure, I tried to do the same thing, just kind of find them using this gentle nudge that my body was trying to guide me, as opposed to, they're going to be under this watering hole, or they're going to be lounging under their favorite tree, or it's 12 o'clock, so they're going to be here. And yeah, I think that was the most profound lesson that I have received, in just trusting your intuition and letting your body guide you, and being really gentle and soft about your goals, rather than trying to hunt them down in a more linear way. Yeah, it was just amazing to me.
It's so beautiful. Yeah, it just makes me think, I love that idea of, if you're struggling with something or having difficulty, to drop into that place where, I often will put my hand on my heart, or kind of center myself there, and then, kind of think, but I haven't thought about it in terms of okay, so for example, for me, often I think about elephants, and of course I have a close personal relationship with the spirit of elephant, Alice. But I'm thinking, how could I step into that pachydermal energy for a moment or for an hour, and what would it feel like? So I love that idea, and what a miracle. I mean, you just can't make these things up. And sleeping in a den of cheetahs is just my gosh, that's so incredible. I once went on a shamanic journey where it's a long story, but one of the things I ended up doing was sleeping with wild tigers. And I'm telling you, I got that physical experience of what it would be like to sleep in a heap of wild tigers, and it was so incredible.
Yeah.
To actually have done it in this reality is pretty awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was definitely an unreal experience, and one that I just feel again that I got so much out of that I want to share it with other people and give them that same energy that the cheetah gave to me.
Yeah. So some of the people watching may be curious about, how to get messages from beasties.
Yeah.
Now, I have talked a lot about this, but I think we all do it differently. And so I think it would be awesome if you would share, like, I know you teach your clients these things too.
For sure.
Tell us, like, if you're just looking at this and like, I could really use a message from a helpful beastie right now because I'm struggling. Sorry, my voice is a little funky right now.
That's okay.
What would you encourage them to do, or how would you have them go about it?
Yeah, I'm actually gonna share a little example from, like 30 seconds ago. Right before our call, I was being totally honest, feeling nervous because I'm not used to, popping on camera and talking about, it's just when you step out of your comfort zone, like it brings up your stuff. So yeah, I was feeling a little bit nervous and, a little trying to like settle in and, just be able to share what I wanted to. And this eagle just flew by my window and perched on my tree. And he sat there and kind of like looked at me and then flew away.
Like, are we good? Are we good, Kirsten?
Yeah.
Can we do this? I think we can do this.
And so I think the first thing is just paying attention to the animals that show up. And it could be a very direct, almost kind of wing slap to the face type of thing that eagle gave me a second ago. And, the way I interpreted that was just like to embody the confidence and that I know what I'm doing. And he was kind of like, hey, stop freaking out. You're fine. But yeah, I mean, noticing who shows up for you, I think is the first thing. Just being open to, animals have messages for me. And whether you believe that that's from literally the animal, or if that's just a vehicle for you to get in touch with your soul or your higher self, or maybe, the creative parts of your brain, it doesn't really matter how people want to view it. And I think that's really important, that there's an acceptance to whatever your interpretation of that is. And then just being open to it. So thinking about it, and you've talked about it too, like what was that animal doing at the time? Did a message directly pop into your head immediately as you thought about that encounter? If not, can you hold that in your mind and maybe ask them questions about something that you've been struggling with or that you were thinking about as they appeared to you? So just kind of putting it in the context of your life and being open to the fact that this animal has this loving gift that it's trying to give you. Yeah,
I love that. And I love how you talk about, like, however you look at the idea of an animal giving you a message. Because I know when I first started with this work, like 8 years ago, I was first introduced to this idea, I was like, I was such a scientist at the time. I remember I had a lot of stuff I wrote down at the time. It was all about right brain, left brain. I was very focused on, well, this is helping me get in touch with my creative self, whatever, my right brain. And now over time, I'm just like, the spirits are real. I mean, I kind of like, I see it kind of differently, but I think it doesn't, as you say so beautifully, it doesn't really matter. If you see it as like a symbol, like just seeing them symbolically as, wow, this animal is showing me some way to reconnect with a new idea. That's great. It has a right brain, left brain. You could even treat, I mean, there's just a million ways to look at it, but however you look at it is okay. And if it's just a curiosity, we were talking before we got on the call, like we both come from a science background where it's like, I want proof.
Yeah.
That's how we were raised. And most people out in the world want proof. Yeah. And the beauty of this kind of work is you get your own proof by doing the work. And it's not that we're saying, hey, animals have lots of great messages for you. It's like an invitation to check it out and see what happens to you. But what I found is that when I practice these things and I get curious, I got quite incredible messages.
Yeah.
And I like to think of as the shaman or, in these indigenous traditions, not as illogical people. No, they were actually scientific in their approach. Like they would try this out. If it worked, then they would continue to use it. If they didn't, then they would do something else. It was a methodology of trial and error and learning what was powerful, what worked for them. So
Absolutely. Yeah. And, it doesn't matter how you view it, literally, like you're saying, if it's left brain, right brain, if it's, messages from your soul, from your heart, from your gut, your intuition, your higher self, whatever it is, as long as it's coming through and it's medicine and it's encouragement that you needed at the time, it works and it was meant for you.
Exactly. If it works, it works. There is no exactly. There's no proving it other than the fantastic effect. And if it works, why not keep doing it?
Yeah.
That's been my motto.
Yeah. And I love that you just broadened your mind too. And I love how when you talk about how you were going from, this path of being a doctor and very linear, logical minded to like, well, maybe these animals are trying to speak with me. I love the kind of confusion and humor that you bring to light to it, because it does feel like that. Like, well, this might be kind of strange, but we're going to try it out and see what works.
Exactly. And when I think it's like you come to a certain point in your life, and this has happened to all of us at one time or another, where things just get so confusing that we can no longer solve the problems before us with our brains or our logic and reason or checklists or pros and cons or whatever it is that we've used in the past that worked to and you need something else. And what, I found that something else can begin. You can open the door. If you start to notice the beasties, they will open a door for you.
Yeah, to exactly everything you needed, the connection, the beauty, the messages, the inspiration, the courage, whatever you need at the time, they're here for you and want to help you. And that's beautiful to me.
Yeah. And is there another, on these calls, I've always asked people, do you have a special beastie? Well, you just had the eagle, which is so awesome. The Jesse Ventura, hey, come on. Yeah. Come here. You were asking me if I'd had any cheetah experiences, and I actually, when we were in South Africa, the one chance that I was there, the opportunity that I was there, we did not see any cheetahs. But I've learned a lot about them through documentaries and other things, and I really love them. But one of the larger cats that I have kind of had a more close connection with is jaguar, and it was through a ceremony where I kind of got to, almost like in a dreamlike sense, got a perception of what it is like to embody jaguar energy.
Ooh.
And it was just this so much stillness and so much peace. And it was I think my intention for that ceremony was something like, how can I serve at the highest level and be of service? It was my question. And it was the jaguar was there to show me just basically, if you are present, there's really nothing else that you need to do but just be pure presence. And it was just so powerful. So I'll often think of them when my brain is kind of, I'm realizing I need to kind of simmer down and sit here and get quiet, because there was just such a calm in that spirit of jaguar. It was just amazing.
I love it. And I love how as you start talking about it, you just automatically start sinking into it. Literally, you slow down and you get kind of that more mysterious, juicy, deep, still presence like you were talking about. It's gorgeous.
I know. Wouldn't it be fun to sit in a circle and call up different beastie energies? I think that would be a fascinating exercise, and see how things change,
Yeah, for sure. It could be like some version of charades where we all embody our core animal and then we all have to guess or something like.
Yeah, exactly.
Are you a chameleon?
Oh my goodness. So tell me how I know you have some programs that you work with people, literally working with the cheetah and stories and these tools that cheetah's kind of gifted to you. Can you tell us a little bit about how you do, or, a little bit about that program? And
yeah, I would love to. Thanks for asking. So my program is called Only Prey Runs, and that is a phrase that you hear many, many times when working with these large carnivores. And so it's kind of a mantra for me that we work in with that program. And I'm
going to repeat it in case anybody didn't catch it. Only prey, as in if you're going to be eaten. Only prey runs. Love this.
Yes.
Go on, because I was wondering how you use this. Go on.
Yeah, exactly. So the whole program is a giant conglomeration and treasure chest of coaching tools from Martha Beck, your fellow Martha Beck coach. So all of those delicious, fun tools, as well as more lessons from the cheetah on confidence and bravery and responding to your fears with love, as well as some tools that I've made up that will help people respond to their fears in a loving, heart-centered way. And just more stories and fun from my time interacting with these cheetahs, because you know, a lot of it comes from this trip, but I've actually worked with cheetahs at 2 other times in my life too. So there's a lot of just all of the different delicious tools and messages that they have for people. So yeah, the point of the program is to ignite people's confidence and bravery and courage and teach them how to respond to their fears in a loving way so that they can go on and achieve their dreams and goals in the world. And yeah, it's just a giant party of everything that the cheetah wanted me to share with people. So
Oh, awesome. And if you can lovingly respond to your own fears, that's it. That is mastery of the game, because
absolutely.
there's just two sides of that coin. There's the love and there's the fear. And if you can keep those two together, it's like, oh, so good. Absolutely. Well, and I'm going to put Kirsten's website in the link above or below or wherever you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook. And thank you so much, Kirsten. Is there some final message do you think that Cheetah would want to impart to all of us who are here?
Yeah. So earlier I did a little bit of journeying myself, and I got a message that was basically just be as you are and, you know, respond lovingly, and you can do it anyway. So she was kind of just trying to impart this message of drop the front, drop the pretending, you know, just be who you are and everything is going to get done. You know, you don't need to be anyone other than who you are in order to have what you want to have, to live the life you want to live. So
beautiful. Thank you, Cheetah. My lower belly relaxed and expanded when you said that.
Good.
Thank you so much. And I look forward to future conversations.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so much fun. I loved it.
Thanks, Kirsten. Bye.
Bye. See you soon.